Recording on this computer. Recording is happening right now. Cool. Okay, ready? We're going live here in a second.
We're up and live, broadcasting around the world.
Okay, awesome. Hey, everybody, welcome to Get Motivated with Lorin and Randy this morning. I'm so grateful to be here with my mate, Lorin, clear across the globe, where it's 3 hours from liftoff with the new year, and we still got about 20 hours here.
Yeah, you got a way to go, Randy. You got a whole day ahead of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Make the most of 2020, what's left of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And but whether you're listening to this New Year's Day Eve or later in the year, or maybe years down the track, who knows when you're going to see or hear about this. But we want to talk about something that's really important, not just today and tomorrow, but at any time in your life, and that's just setting goals and being able to achieve it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and you told me about a 4-step strategy that you use, that you've shared in part of your speaking engagement. Why don't you talk about that a little bit, and I'll have some ideas as you talk.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of work and a lot of speaking with youth and young adults and so forth, and so the way I present it to them is quite well, not simple, but it is broken down to a few simple steps to really help them be able to apply it straight away. And achieving a goal, though, when we're talking here probably mostly adults, but it's a sacrificial thing, really, isn't it? Achieving a goal, because there's going to be lots of things you might have to give up in order to achieve it. And whether it's losing weight, or developing a musical talent, or becoming good at sport or music, or some business endeavor, it requires a certain degree of sacrificing other things in order to really focus on and achieve your goal. So I guess the first thing before we even get to the 4 steps is really, how much do you really want this? You've got a dream and a goal. How much do you actually really want it? Do you want it more than what you want other things that are going on in your life? Like when I mentioned losing weight, Randy, you got a lot more experience at this than me, but do you really want to lose weight more than you want to put it on? And you got to be honest with yourself about that. And how do you find that, Randy, when you're talking to people?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Let me share an idea about that. Having a goal of losing weight is great, but you don't want to have your goal just to be lose weight. What is it that you really want to achieve? Why do you want to lose the weight? If your why is strong enough, then you're going to do what it takes to reach your goal. If it's just, well, I just want to lose weight to feel better. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But what is it that feeling better is going to allow you to be able to do? And if you concentrate on what that is, I want to be able to go on want to be able to do a 5K run. Okay, that's cool. Or I want to be able to hike go on this trip with my family, and I have to be able to be at a healthy body mass index, or I have to be able to have more stamina and stuff like that, to be able to go on that trip with my family, or whatever that is for you. If you concentrate on that, then you can take Lorin's awesome ideas and just take a 1-step process to be able to think about that. But if you just concentrate on, well, I got to lose weight, and you're going to stand on the scale every day and freak out if it doesn't go that way, there's a whole lot of stuff to losing weight and getting healthy, not just what the scale says. It's about how you feel. It's about your clothes feeling looser. All those things are an indication that you're moving in the right direction. But keep in mind that big why, whatever that is, and get really specific with that. And that's going to help you keep moving forward.
That really opens up a whole heap of different things. You mentioned that, Randy. I like that. And the why is the critical thing. And once you have that, that sacrificial thing I was talking about before becomes a lot easier. You don't mind giving up a few things along the way, because you know and understand where you're heading and why you're doing it. And but if I was to break this down into 4 simple steps, it's this. Well, firstly, when you set a goal, it's like a target and you're aiming for something. And if you don't aim, you'll never make it. Like the chance of you hitting a target when you don't aim, like that pathway to success is so narrow that if you're actually not aiming, the chance of getting to it is zero. So at least if you aim, even if you veer off the track a little bit from time to time on the journey, well, at least you're still heading generally in the right direction. But the first thing is to be very clear on which direction you want to, which way you're heading and what you're aiming for. So that goal, though, is often pretty big. So here's the 4 steps. First is to plan. Like, in other words, how do you eat an elephant? Like one bite at a time. And so if it's a big goal, it can be really overwhelming. And we're going back to this analogy of the losing weight, because it's a really good practical one to visualize. You might say, oh, look, I want to lose 50 pounds, and that's a massive goal that you just cannot, and we're using the wrong analogy here, I guess, in a way, biting off more than you can chew.
Right.
You're biting off more than you can chew if you're trying to lose 50 pounds. But when you break it down into little goals and stuff, it's like the plan is all the little steps along the way. It's like me wanting to learn how to play guitar. How do I get, I might want to be a really good guitarist, but I need a guitar and I need some lessons, and I need what type of practice for, and what about the sore fingers that you get, and like this principle can be applied to any goal that you want to achieve. Even in business, it's the same thing. You want to achieve something big in business, try and map it out. What are the small steps, the increments that you need to take in order to get to the end goal? That's number 1. Number 2 is where most people fall over and give up, and that's the overcome. So I've got plan, number 1, overcome, number 2, because there will be obstacles in the way. And those obstacles can take all different shapes and forms. Mm-hmm. And it's when you hit that first obstacle, like getting hungry or getting sore fingers, or all your friends are out having a party while you're doing overtime at work or whatever it is, that you have to work out how do you overcome that. My brother and I were actually, Randy, were the first blind guys, in fact, we're the only blind guys to ride push bikes. It was tandem bikes, actually, across Australia, which is about 2,600 miles. Wow. Not far.
Yeah, not
4,000 kilometers. Not far. But how here's the classic example. Like, if I can't ride a single bike anymore, well, how do I overcome that? Yeah. Well, go get a tandem bike. And then where do I sit, on the front or the back? Well, I'm on the back. So what else do I need? Well, I'm going to need someone else that's crazy that wants to come with me, that can see. And so you can sort of get an idea of what we're talking about here. Then even when you start the journey on your goal, you might be part way along and you'll face some obstacles that you weren't really aware of that have cropped up. So you may need to adapt your plan a little bit to get through those obstacles. But if you just look at those obstacles as just a little problem that needs to be solved, and when you solve those little problems along the way, you'll see your plan really take effect. So that's number 2. Number 3 is celebrate, because each one of those little steps along the way, and whether it be you've lost 1 pound, or you've made it to the top of the next hill, or you've reached your first KPI, or whatever it is, you have to celebrate. You have to congratulate yourself for the success that you've had. And so, the exhilaration, you don't have to wait till you get to the end to feel the celebration or to feel the exhilaration. You should be feeling that every little step of the way, to some extent. So make sure you.
Yeah, I love what you said. So good. And especially in the celebrate part, a lot of people forget to do that. Because like if you're trying to lose weight, you hop on the scale and you either get excited or you freak out. It's not moving as fast as you want, but it's about celebrating all the little wins, like all the non-scale victories or whatever. You can apply that to whatever you're doing. But how do you feel? How's your energy if you're trying to lose weight? How are your clothes fitting? Are they looser? Are you losing inches? I mean, those are all
Yeah,
those are things to celebrate along the way. So I love that.
exactly. And that highlights something. And you mentioned that sort of earlier. And I think we've talked about this once before. It's like you have to recognize different ways of measuring your success, because it's not just the end goal that that you're measuring against, or like you said, it's not just the scales. You need to look at other ways. Like if I'm playing guitar, it's like, well, you know what, I can actually practice for 2 hours now, and I've learned an extra song, and that's a huge move forward from where I was last week or last month. And so make sure you do reward yourself
Yeah.
as you're going along this path to the goal. Now, the fourth one, I think, is probably the most critical one of all, and that is help. So we'll go through quickly: plan, overcome, celebrate, and help. They are the 4 steps. Help meaning that, I think about when I rode across Australia, I needed a pilot rider on the front of my bike to assist. My dad came along in a support vehicle, and, he prepared all the meals, and, he was always there cheering us on and encouraging us. And if you really stop to think about things you've achieved in your lifetime, the reality is I don't know that you would have really achieved much at all if you didn't have, encouragement or support or mentoring or somebody there to help you get to the goal. And what's sort of ironic about that too, Randy, is it's not just the person that's aiming for the goal that succeeds. I think of things that happen where, like we arrived in Sydney after 4 weeks of riding our bikes, and here's my dad and my family at the end, who've supported us all this way. And he was probably just as proud as we were at the achievement. And so I think sometimes seeing or being a part of people's success is success, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it kind of reminds me of when my wife Jeanette and I were over there with you guys about 4 years ago, almost exactly 4 years ago. You and I had the opportunity to go out for walks together in the morning. And it was great because I knew that you were expecting me to be there, and we were going to do that together. And you knew the same thing, that we both were kind of counting on each other to get out there and get a little bit of extra exercise. But the cool thing was we were able to enjoy that journey part, together. And so having a mentor or somebody that is counting on you and you them really helps you to kind of do all those 4 steps. And again, keep in mind your why. Why are you really doing this? What's the big picture? What is the thing that I really want more? If it's not something that you really want and you're just passive about it, it's not going to happen. It has to almost make you cry if you want it that bad. And every time you think about it, you kind of get emotional. You really want this thing. And so it's so important to have a really great why. Lorin, I love those 4 steps. And folks, we want to say Happy New Year to all of you. Some of you are going to hit that earlier, just like when we were there with you. We got to see the Star Wars picture before everybody else. Woo! Australia, everything first. That's cool. So you guys are going to ring in the new year first. We're coming up here behind you in the States here, but what we're wishing for all of you folks, anybody listening in, that we all work on our goals. Hey, honey, my wife's walking out the door. That we want to work on our goals this year and make it something that we're excited about. And don't give up. If you do all those 4 steps and have somebody that you're working with and work your plan and just stay consistent every day, consistent and persistent, you're going to hit your goals. So everybody, thanks for joining us for Get Motivated with Lorin and Randy. Any last words you want to share, Lorin?
Randy, I think you've tied that up really nicely, mate. I just think Happy New Year to everybody. Set a great goal and find a good friend or a mentor or someone to help you through that. That's the first thing. And I think you'd be surprised how easy it is to achieve it when you do have that extra person there. It helps with accountability. It helps with support, encouragement, all those things, Randy, that you just said. So, hey, guys, have a great year ahead. Thanks very much. It's Randy and Lorin. Get motivated. Keep going. Never give up. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Look forward to it, guys. Look forward to it in about a week. All right.